All right, we're here today with GiGi Gossett. Did I say that correctly?
Yes.
All right, she is the author of many books. How many books have you written so far?
Published 4.
You have published 4, but you have some more in the works, right?
I actually do, yes.
That's awesome. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Are you from here?
Originally I was born in Lawrence, Kansas, but I grew up in Kansas City, Kansas from second grade on, and went to Sumner High School, probably the best school in the nation.
That's right.
Yes, and I started working at Procter & Gamble very early in my life and had a long career with them, transferring at one point to Baltimore, Maryland, and then transferring again to their headquarters city in Cincinnati, Ohio, about 25 years ago. I've since retired from Procter & Gamble. I've consulted since then. Largely, they're one of my biggest clients, and I still live in Cincinnati.
That's awesome. Did you always know that you wanted to be a writer?
Absolutely did, but I never knew how to get the pages put together. The most I'd ever written was maybe a 20 or 30 page term paper, and I didn't really know what to do. And when I got a PhD, it enabled me to write a dissertation. I chose to make it a manuscript format, and because that got the book out of me. And I learned it was doable. I learned you could put hundreds of pages together on one topic. And then I was encouraged to write fiction after writing the first book, which was...
Okay, so tell us about your first book.
This book is Diversity Blues, How to Shake 'Em. It's about racism and sexism in organizations and what to do about them. I worked in Procter & Gamble a long time. I had a lot of influence on their ability to become more diverse in how they treated people who were not white males. And I think I had a lot of respect in the organization for the changes that I was able to help them to make. So the book came about because I was going to be retiring, and I wanted to have something that I could leave behind that would tell people what to do as they faced these issues, and that would tell leaders what to do as they tried to deal with these issues. So
that's awesome. So what other books have you written? Tell us about by any other name.
This was the first mystery novel that I wrote because I was encouraged to write fiction by a person, an agent who reviewed my diversity book. And she said, you can write about tough subjects in a way that's very readable. And I would strongly encourage you to use that skill to reach a larger audience by writing fiction. And she said, you can also still teach with fiction. So essentially, this is sort of a diversity mystery. It's about the story of a wealthy billionaire who makes a deathbed confession to his wife of 40 years that 30 years ago he had a 10-year affair. And he felt compelled to tell her this as he was dying because he had 2 children out of that affair. And he wanted to bring the children into his will and into the family and that type of thing. And what made it a mystery was that there was a kidnapper who had learned of his story many years ago and was going to expose him. So he'd been paying off the person for a long years. And it's a good book, so yeah.
All right, and your current book?
So this is my current book. It's a suspense novel. In by any other name, my first mystery, I have a character who's a private detective. Her name is Lynn Davis. Really savvy, really sharp lady. And people really loved her. So I decided to have a series of her cases, working cases. She's in this book, which involves, the cover represents twins who grew up not knowing of each other until they were 19. But they grew up and because they were separated at birth by a midwife. She's in the cover of the book just barely. That's why it's called The Midwife Factor. What was the factor of her factor in their being separated, and why? And so in the book, this will all become, made aware. It was really very intriguing because they have something called twin telepathy. They can actually perceive each other all their lives, but they had no clue what they were perceiving. And so they were very, very confused all their lives. And at 19, one of them sets out to Budapest, where she learned she had a look-alike. And she went there on a quest to find, because she had been adopted. The other one had grown up with her natural family. And in the meantime, what makes it suspense is also the fact that there were some bad guys, really, really bad guys, that were recent prison released in Budapest who they had a plot going on which was going to involve everybody in this story.
Wow.
And so Lynn Davis goes to Budapest. She's my private detective.
Okay.
And thank goodness she was in the case, on the case.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So she took care of everything.
She helped the case along. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What was your favorite book to write?
I think this, my first one, because I believe it was just inspired. Mm-hmm. It just, I had gotten so much encouragement from the agent. She was telling me how good I could write and everything. Mm-hmm. And I just got inspired, and I actually wrote the book in 3 months. And then, of course, I rewrote it about 100 times, so you do that for about a year or two. But I did. It was my first. But I really enjoyed that plot. I enjoyed this one as well, and people are enjoying it, so I'm really thrilled with that. Because I like to write something that people find memorable.
Right.
And so far, I've succeeded with that. So.
That's awesome. Well, it was so nice to have the opportunity to meet with you, and congratulations,
Thank you.
we look forward to more to come.
Thank you so
All
much.
right.
Thank you.
Let's ignite the community, and it starts with you.